this because it's so sickening. One of the cops that lynched this brother in Sacramento was a black cop. And the other one was a white cop. What were you thinking, brother, when you was, I can't even call you a brother, because a brother don't shoot another brother like that. What were you thinking when you were hailing those bullets in that 22-year-old boy? What were you thinking? You don't got no nephews, you don't got no sons? What the hell is wrong with you? You love your master that much that you slaughtered your brother in the backyard of his own grandparents? I'm gonna repeat it for the third time. Let's say the brother was doing the vandalism that they thought he was doing. You can replace cars, windows, and anything material. You cannot bring that brother back. And you hailed 20-some bullets? Yeah, he's a coon, Brother Kyle. He's beyond a coon. What about the ones down there in Baltimore that killed Freddie Gray, helped in his lynching? Right? What about the black codes in Washington, D.C.? Further going along with the history of policing in America, the black codes in Washington, D.C., where you could be jailed and fined for walking on the wrong side of the street. Do you know they used to have laughing barrels? Laughing barrels meaning if you was walking this way and a white person was walking towards you, not only did you have to go on the other side of the street, but if you felt the need to laugh or talk loud, you had to dip your head in the laughing barrel so you didn't laugh or talk loud in front of a white person. Did you know with the black codes, 2 or 3 black men couldn't stand on the corner at one time? Did you know that? These are called the black codes that they had right there in D.C., further going along with the policing in America. And again, for those who didn't listen, the first police department in America, 1839 in Boston, Massachusetts. The first prison, 1790 on Walnut Street in Philadelphia. Orchestrated by the Quakers. They invented solitary confinement in the penitentiaries. Penitentiary means to repent. What brothers you know in prison today are repenting? Repenting from what? They could be. There may be some more Malcolms out there. But like they say, most of them are coming out worse than they're going in. Ain't no one repenting. They're creating more criminals, more homosexuals, more lesbians. They create this. Why would we expect America to have a justified police department going off of the history I just told you? The origin of the police department were night watchers, slave catchers. Look it up. In 1690 in South Carolina, like I said, they made it mandatory for the white community to participate with the slave catchers. And if you didn't participate, you were heavily fined and even jailed in 1690 in South Carolina. Now, who did this with these black cops? Who did this? Do you remember a couple years ago, back? See, so much done happened, we done forgot. At the, Brothers Help Me Out, I've been gone for a little bit. What's the name of that place down there in Baltimore where people go shopping and half of it's outside, half of it's inside? It's like a flea market or something. Anyway, it was a mentally ill brother there. Everyone knew him, didn't hurt or bother anyone. Mentally disturbed, walking in the flea market, had a small pocket knife. What you gonna do with a pocket knife? The cops pull up. A black cop pulls up, draws the gun on him. People screaming and hollering, saying, "Don't bother that boy, don't shoot that boy." Shot him dead right down there in Baltimore. No one talks about it. The Lexington Market. Thank you, Brother Tino. This is a wonderful brother here. Brother Tino. Look up Busting It Up We did an interview yesterday. Brother Wayne Scott, Brother Tino, and Brother Elijah. We did a excellent, and we had Brother Fude from Africa. These brothers are doing some wonderful things with this podcast that they have. Shot that brother dead at the Lexington market. He was mentally ill. A black cop. Lynched this brother in Sacramento. Lynched Tamir Rice within 2 seconds. Lynched Eric Gardner. Lynched Sandra Bland. Now they lynching the sisters. What's the solution? What can we do? Has marching been the answer? Has protesting been the answer? They keep doing it. If I had a straight shooter answer and a solution, I would give it to you right now. We have to know who we are dealing with and know the time of the day and the situation that we're in to at least reduce the chance if we come in contact with the police. Just last week, I talked about this in one of my other messages. I was in Springettsbury Township, driving up the hill going towards Suburban, and a cop pulled me over. I'm like, man, what did I do? He comes. He has his hand not on his gun, but close to his gun. He says, you know why I pulled you over? I said, no, officer, I didn't. Let's stop right there. So many of our brothers have had bad experiences with authoritarian figures, not just cops, anybody in authority, that when they come in contact with authority, sometimes we get a little defensive. We have to know what time of the day it is, brothers. Some people may not like this message, but I'm speaking to you from the heart and giving you the best information and knowledge and advice because I'm a therapist that I can give you. So he said, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, no, officer, I don't. He said, you ran that stop sign back there. He said, you didn't speed through it. You just kind of coasted through it. And he had his hand like, he was ready. So I calmed myself down. I spoke in a low, soft tone. And I remember what my dad taught me. He said, you can't win in that situation. My dad taught me this. May he rest in peace. I wouldn't be here without him. He said, they got a Glock 9. My dad taught me this before Rodney King in 92. He was telling me these things. So what did my dad experience that he was telling me about the police before Rodney King? Black people have been being abused by the police. I just gave you the history. But what did my dad experience that he told me that before the video cameras? Because Rodney King is what really put police brutality on the map because it was videotaped. He said, you can't win, son. He said they got a Glock 9, a Billy Club, pepper spray. And if you so big and bad to get past that, all they got to do is get on their CB radio and call someone else with the same thing. He said, how you want to win? He said, be calm, be nice, so you can live to see another day. So that's what I did. I said, oh, officer, I didn't realize that I went through that stop sign. I'm sorry. Some people, oh, hell with that. I ain't bowing down to the man. Well, you can try that method. And if we talking about you in the past tense, I'll try to say something nice about you. That's not my method. Okay? I ain't no one telling you to lose your manhood. We need you above ground. We need good brothers like Kyle and Tino and Wayne and whatever good brothers are out there. We need you above ground. Once you take your last breath, your story is over. So that's what I did. I said, I didn't realize I did that. Right away, I seen his demeanor change. His hand dropped. He said, do you have license? I said, sure. I said, I think it's in my console right here. You mind if I reach for it? He said, sure, thanks for asking. Now his whole demeanor is changing. Now my license wasn't in the console. It was in my bag in the back seat. I said, I know it's in that bag back there. Can I reach and get the bag? He said, sure, thanks for asking. I slowly reached for the bag, but then I put the bag and I leaned it up against my car seat because he's right up on, not the car seat, but the window, because he's right up on the window. So he couldn't say I was reaching around, and I slowly opened it up, got my license out. He said, okay. He came back, nothing on my record, thank God. He came back and said, sir, people are complaining about drivers coming through this neighborhood and running these stop signs. You got to promise me you'll stop the next time. I said, sure. He said, I'm not going to give you a ticket. It's just a warning. Have a nice day. And he walked off. And I'm still here giving this system the business, right? I didn't lose my manhood. I just outsmarted him and used some restraint and some discipline. I'm still here. Someone could say I punked out. Okay, but I'm still breathing. And this isn't no 100% method to beat police brutality. It's just a suggestion so you can live to see another day. Because nothing 100% proof, because if I had it, I'd give it to you. But that's the history of the police department. They were slave catchers, night watchers, and the general community was made to participate in this. It's called the Law of 1690 in South Carolina, where they were made to participate in returning runaway slaves. You could be branded, castrated, and killed by the police department. So what's the difference then? What's going on now? George Zimmerman was in school studying criminal justice when he slaughtered and killed an innocent child, Trayvon Martin. May he rest in peace. He was studying criminal justice. Have we forgotten? He did not 1 day in prison. Do you know that 8 of the 12 jurors on that, see how quick we forget, 8 of the 12 jurors on George Zimmerman's trial were white mothers with teenage boys, and the other ones were like 2-3 blacks or something like that. But 8 of the jurors were white women with children. None of them saw it in their heart, even though they had a child Trayvon Martin's age, to give this man 1 day in prison. Not one. Have we forgotten? It was just 3-4 years ago. No one talks about it. Look it up. The jurors that was on George Zimmerman, it was women with children. None of them said nothing. Thank you, sister. Keep tuning in and spread these messages. All right? So that's the history of the police department. It's no different then than it is now because of their history. And it's gotten worse. It's just covert now. And I'm going to say it and play it one more time. Just came out today that one of the cops was a what, KRS-One? A black cop that shot this boy in Sacramento. One of the cops was a black cop. That is shameful. What were you thinking, man? God is watching you. You cannot continue to murder our people and think y'all gonna get away with it. I don't know when, I don't know how, but this gotta stop. Unarmed black man with a cell phone. This man had children. At least one child. Talking about the brother in Sacramento. He had a child. How is this child going to be raised now? And we wonder why we have this perpetual cycle. Remember, Brother Tino, if you're still out there, we talked about he sold his weapon and made money off it. Thanks, Brother Kyle, for that information. We talked about the perpetual cycle of violence in our community, right? Now, and we talked about the ACE survey yesterday. Those of y'all didn't tune into that. I talked about the ACE survey and study yesterday, talking about risk factors that families and youth are exposed to. And if these risk factors aren't addressed by the time they're 18, it could take 20 years off their life. Incarceration, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental and emotional neglect. But what is this child is already, I don't know how old this young man's child is that got killed there in Sacramento. May he rest in peace. Already the child is going to be raised without a father. You only get one father and one mother. The last time I checked, people can try to replace you, but like they say, you can imitate, but you can't duplicate. You get one mother and one father. So already we got a young black child being raised without their parents because of white racists. When is it going to stop? Yes, Brother Angelo, justice needs to be served.